If you've been running your home daycare for a while now and you find yourself in a place where it's really hard to keep your program fully booked, you're doing all the same things you used to do, but for some reason it's not working anymore, I want you to keep watching because you may find this video somewhat helpful. My name is Rizakos, and I help providers just like yourself with social media marketing. And one of the things that I hear from our members, from our clients, is that, well, I've been in business for X amount of years, and I never had to advertise before. All I had to do was do simple word of mouth, pass out some flyers, and I was okay. Like, I had clients coming in, booking visits, and enrolling. Now it's hard. I'm doing exactly the same thing, but for some reason, why isn't it working? Well, number one, the world has shifted more towards the online space. A few years ago, with the pandemic, mostly everything went online. Learning, teaching, interacting, socializing, like everything went online. So companies that were already showing up online had an advantage, right? Because they were already there. They had an online presence. Locals and clients knew their program, their services, their offer, their business. But if you never did that before, if the only way you were advertising was word of mouth and passing out flyers at your, in your community, or pinning them up at your library or your church bulletin, then you are starting at a disadvantage because you need to make sure you are showing up where more of your local families are hanging around. And let's face it, nowadays, everyone is glued to their smartphone, whether they're waiting at Starbucks to grab something to drink, whether they're waiting for their kids to get out of school or soccer practice, whether they're in the bathroom, right? Their bathroom break, they have their phones with them. So you as a provider, and yes, even if you're running a small in-home, it does not matter. You're still running a business and you need to be able to advertise and market your program properly. So you need to get that awareness up. You need to make sure that you are reaching local moms and dads exactly where they're hanging out. And these days, everyone is online. Everyone is on social media, scrolling, all day scrolling. So what do you have to do? Number one, you have to make sure that you know exactly where you stand out in your community. You have to make sure that you know exactly what you're offering, why it's different from other providers, what makes you different, special, unique. You have to make sure that you know what those, I would say, 4 or 5 pillars are. Second thing you want to do is you want to make sure you've set up all your online platforms properly. So Yelp, Google My Business, but also Facebook and Instagram are just places where you have to be found and you have to be hanging out, let's say, virtually, so that locals can actually get to know what you're about. Thirdly, you have to make sure that your messaging is on point, because you can be posting every single day and you can be showing up and trying to, create reels and do funny things. But if your messaging isn't on point, like if you're not actually speaking to moms and dads in your community and really showing them what your program is all about, then your clients are not going to know why they should say yes to you versus the home daycare down the street, right? The other thing is that you have to make sure that you're consistent. So if you are not paying for ads to get in front of people, you have to have a consistent posting schedule. So I would suggest 3 to 4 times a week. If you can do more, go for it. You should be updating your stories and really just showing, every time you go online, showing exactly one of those 5 pillars, things that you're all about, your uniqueness, your brand, and all the amazing things that you're doing with the kids in your program. And lastly, you have to have a strong call to action. So whether that's, click this link to book a visit, whether that's send us a DM or call us and schedule a tour, you have to make sure you're telling people where to find you, right? Obviously, we're not going to forget things like hashtagging to make sure that locals, when they are searching, they actually find you right on social media. And there's a lot of other things, but I would definitely start with those 5 and really just leverage them on organic, so free social media, Facebook and Instagram, and make sure that you are obviously staying consistent. So let me know if this video helped. Let me know if you have, if you have other types of struggles or questions when it comes to your marketing.